Hello, my name is Cardona-Tejera. I will be discussing microaggression and spiral silence theories. So what are microaggressions? According to the Oxford Dictionary, microaggressions are an act or a remark that discriminates against one or more members of a minority group, either deliberately or by mistake. Microaggressions can be verbal, nonverbal, or environmental. These remarks are actions rooted in an individual's stereotypes regarding a specific group of people. Examples of targeted areas are race and ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, social class or income level, and religious faith. There are three types of microaggressions. First is microassaults. Microassaults are deliberate and intentional slights or insults that are meant to hurt the intended victim through name-calling, avoidant behavior, and purposeful discriminatory actions. An example of microassaults would be calling an individual by a derogatory name. Next is microvalidation. Microvalidation is the attempt to discredit or minimize the experiences of a person who is from an underrepresented group. An example of this would be a coworker telling another fellow coworker that if they were to be nicer or more receptive, then they would not be discriminated against. And lastly is micro-insults. Micro-insults are rude, insensitive comments that disrespect a person's racial heritage or identity. An example would be assuming an individual cannot perform a task because their native language is not English. Essentially, what all three have in common is that they convey a negative message to the person receiving it. It is important to understand what microaggressions are and how they impact those around us. These microaggressions reinforce societal stereotypes and influence the value that society has on these marginalized groups. In a work setting, employees lose faith and trust in their employer understanding and respecting their basic needs, leading to a dip in workplace engagement. It also causes employees to not speak up in fear that their ideas will not be valued or doubt their ability to contribute to the team. Within a school setting, children that experience microaggressions are susceptible to having lower academic scores. Research has shown that students are more likely to experience anxiety and elevated stress level. There are ways in which we can help prevent microaggressions from occurring. Through education and teaching, we can help individuals recognize what microaggressions are and have them understand the implication that comes from them. Affirmations is another useful way. They are small acts that foster inclusion and support for individuals who may feel isolated or invisible in an environment. Lastly, through intervention. As bystanders, we should take the initiative to speak up and confront the individual professionally if microaggression acts or remarks are being done or said. The theory I will be discussing is the spiral of silence theory. This theory was first proposed by political scientist Elizabeth Noel Newman. It can be defined as the tendency of people to remain silent when they feel that their views are in opposition to the majority view of a subject. The causes of spiral of silence. Individuals have a natural fear of isolation and a desire to belong to their social group, and as such, they may self-censor their own opinions to fit in with the perceived majority or avoid standing out as a minority. When an individual's idea is shut down, that is when the spiral begins to where their ideas are suppressed. The effects of spiral silence. Society is conditioned to believe that there is only one correct idea and that they must follow that one idea. Any minority idea is either manipulated or silenced by the majority, causing for individuals that have a minority idea to be excluded or neglected for not conforming to majority idea or thought process. Examples of spiral of silence in social settings. In a school setting, an example can be seen when a child goes along with a group of peers to do an activity. Even though they do not enjoy the activity, they are pressured to conform due to not wanting to be excluded. In a work setting, a coworker wants to voice a new policy for their company. However, they are shunned by the majority of his or her coworkers. Their ideas are then manipulated or disregarded, causing the minority idea to be shut out completely.